let's review together how to filter your data in Google Analytics for GA4. There's two ways to do it. If you're in the reports section, then that's the section that, as you know, that has pre-configured reports. So user acquisition, traffic acquisition, events, things like that. Your interface might look slightly different, but it's going to look something like this under reports on the left-hand side here. So for those, you just go up to add filter. By the way, this works for everything except the main, like the overview, it doesn't work, but all the reports under that work. So user acquisition, we'll try. So add filter. And let's pretend we want to filter out everything from like the Linux operating system, let's say, just as an example. So after clicking on add filter, then we would click on dimension here. I'm going to go ahead and put operating system. If I start typing, it's going to give me options down below. And let's type in does not contain Linux. Nothing against Linux, just using this as an example. And then we click on apply, and then it's going to, you notice how the numbers change because now we've excluded Linux. And so that's one way to do it. Now the challenge with this is it's not going to remember it. So when you leave this report view, it's going to forget that filter right there. So if it's something you want to look at regularly, then what I recommend is going down to Explore here on the left. This is the custom report area. Click on New, and let's use the same thing. Let's actually create a segment, and we're going to call it all OSs but Linux. So let's just use that as an example. And the new condition we're going to put is operating system, and we're going to put does not contain. Let's skip it. There we go. Does not contain. And again, I'm going to use Linux just as an example here. And it's going to give me, this time it gave me a drop-down list to choose from, so I can click it, click on apply. Now, you can also do a Boolean and or a Boolean OR. So an OR would mean it is, for example, it does not contain Linux or Windows, let's say. For example, you could add that right there, be another one. You could say operating system does not contain Windows. Another way to do it is to have a list where it's is not one of. Let's try that. If you want to do multiple of the same type, you can say is not one of, and then you can select multiple ones like Linux or Windows. But if you will have different dimensions, let's say you want it to be something where the session source is not linked in, let's say. Oops. Work on my typing skills here. Session source. Let's go to source medium. There we go. Let's use that one. And then if we say does not contain, and let's say LinkedIn. Okay, let's just say we want to use that as an example. So because it's OR, we're using the Boolean OR, that means if either one of these is true, then it will exclude it. Otherwise, it will include it. Okay. But let's say we wanted to say only if both of these were true did we want to exclude it. So then I wouldn't want to use the OR. I'd want to use the Boolean AND. So I want to start one down here. And I want to say, let's see, we'll say session source. And go like that, session source medium. And we would say does not contain again. And let's just say LinkedIn. So it's important you understand the difference here. This one is saying if both of these are true, if this operating system is not Linux and the session source is not LinkedIn, then exclude it. Okay. The other one, if you use just the OR, which is over here, that would mean that if either one of those were true. This is a looser definition. This is a more strict definition with the AND because it's saying both of these have to be true for it to exclude it. Okay. Now, once you've done that, you can click on Save and Apply. That's your segment. And I'm not going to go too much into report building in this video, but just to kind of finish that out, you would go ahead and apply. It's already applied our segment there. You might want to add a dimension such as, I don't know, let's call it country. So we might do country. Again, I'm just showing you how it's going to look. And we might say sessions, for example. Okay, that's the value we're using. Just kind of finishing up here. And so for rows, we might want to pull country in. And then for values down here, I might want to pull in metrics and pull in the sessions, and there you go. So because this segment is applied right now, we applied that segment, then this is excluding everyone who meets that condition, okay? But if I were to remove that segment, it would change these numbers here because it would be removing that filter. So those are the two ways to do filters. And with this, the second method I showed you, like I said, it's a custom report. So if you save the report, it'll save the filter, and you can use it again next time very easily. Just make sure you adjust the date range over here. Good luck.